All right, and I believe we actually have some rather heartbreaking news to share with you right now. Comedian Raju Srivastava has passed away. You might remember that we'd brought you details earlier of his health condition being very serious. Many questions had been asked because he'd been in hospital for many days after his health condition had been reported serious a few weeks ago. He's a popular comedian. He was a popular comedian and actor, much loved by generations. He was in the intensive care unit of AIIMS for 9 days following a heart attack that he'd had. He was then on ventilator and he was critical. Srivastava was 58 years old. My colleague Shilpa Ratnam is with us right now to bring us more details. Shilpa, I've just tried to bring our audiences up to date with some of the medical updates that we had about Raju Srivastava, but a devastating loss, not just to the comedic community, but also to the entire nation. Bring us more details.
Well, yes, he was one of the comedians that he knew. He was the most prolific stand-up comedian, and he made a mark for himself with the Great Indian Laughter Challenge, wherein he became a household name. And that really gave him the footing to become a politician as well. And even when he was taken ill a month ago, there were so many wishes pouring in from the industry, and the doctors had said he was very critical and almost brain dead a month ago. But even then, there were many who didn't lose hope at all, because this was somebody who had made a mark in a profession which hitherto wasn't something that you could be very successful in. The fact that he became a stand-up comedian first garnered a lot of fans, then did have some polarizing views, but nobody can deny the fact that he was a trailblazer at what he did. He had started off as doing some small roles in Bollywood, but after that, he really made his mark with the Indian television, and it was with all these comedy shows that were on many channels across networks that he made a mark for himself. And after which he started off his political career, because he just was wooed by so many parties because of the kind of select that he had with the people, with the grassroots especially. And then the Samajwadi Party had fielded him in the 2014 election, following which he became a member of the BJP and was somebody who enjoyed a lot of goodwill among politicians, of course his fans as well, and was somebody who the entire industry was rooting for to make it through. So it's going to be definitely a big shock for everybody, because while a month ago it was declared that that he only had a few more days or even hours that doctors were counting. The fact was that so many from the industry took to social media. They were really rooting for him, and then following which the doctors had said that his blood pressure was under control and that his oxygen supply increased. And so there was some good news that was trickling in. But now the fact that Raju Srivastava is no more is definitely going to be a fact that is going to be mourned by many. Not just the political community or the industry, but scores and millions of fans that he has in India and the diaspora as well.
Shilpa, do we have any news of who Srivastava leaves behind in his family?
Yes, his wife Shikha he leaves behind, and she was also somebody who has been standing by him. They've been married for almost 30 years now. Her name is Shikha Srivastava. He also has 2 children, Ayushman Srivastava and Antara Srivastav. So he is survived by his family, and at this point the industry will be extending all the support that they can give him, because he was somebody who was a very popular figure. And also the fact that his demise was so sudden, or the fact that the deterioration of his health was so sudden that he was taken ill at the gym. This is a spate of events that we've been seeing in recent times, and that's also a very worrying factor for the industry, because he was not that old. He was in his 50s. The fact that he had a heart attack at the gym, was on a ventilator, and that he is no more is going to come as a reality check for many in the industry to see perhaps what are the factors that led to it, especially with an increase of such incidents in the last few months or years.
Shilpa, this question is being asked by a number of audience members, which is why I do want to check with you. We know that Raju Srivastava had actually gone into hospital on August 10th. That's when he'd had the heart attack that we're talking about. At any point during that about 1 month in between him going to the hospital and his death, was he able to come out of hospital or did he remain on ventilator the entire time?
Oh, he remained. He remained in the hospital. In fact, even back then, doctors had flagged it off as a case that was very serious, that was very critical. He was declared brain dead, and they'd also said that there seems to be little to no hope. But there was a silver lining wherein some of his vital signs were improving. As I was saying, his blood pressure was improving, his oxygen supply was improving. So well-wishers were hoping for a miracle, but the doctors have given their diagnosis. They said that he's suffered brain damage, he's not recovered consciousness, and that somebody who has had such a big blow to their health, it would be very difficult for them to make it back from that precipice, is what the doctors have said. But hope does linger on, not just for a family, but also for fans, and they weren't able to give up on the fact despite that medical diagnosis. So he did continue to remain critical throughout his hospitalization following that 1 month and about 10 days that followed since he is, he wasn't stable at any point, and this has led to his eventual demise. But, that definitely was not something that fans could accept, his family could accept. The fact that the doctors had said that he only has a few more days left was something that well-wishers fought against. Everybody took to social media and prayed against hope that he would make it back and he would come back to make millions laugh as he has through many years.
Shilpa, now if we could just take a step back from discussing the incident itself, and if you could just for our audiences tell us more about Raju Srivastava's impact on the Indian comedy scene, what his career meant, especially, that big show, the Great Indian Laughter Challenge, and what it did for stand-up comedy across our country in the early 2000s. If you could just impress on our audiences some of his impact.
Well, yes, you're mentioning the Great Indian Laughter Challenge, and interestingly, he was not the winner of that show. But the winner of the show, perhaps he's even overshadowed them because he was only the second runner-up. But following which, with his unique style, he won over so many people, and he also won the title of King of Comedy. Despite not winning the first reality show that he was a part of, he was only the second runner-up. And of course, everybody in comedy has to go through the Bollywood route. So he did do that. He did do some minor roles in movies. But in fact, he started off in Maine Pyar Kiya, where he had a bleach and mix role. And ardent fans will be able to point out that small guest role that he had. But he made his mark on television. And he made, such a big impact that he became bigger than many prominent actors in movies as well. And when it comes to stand-up comedy, he definitely was the top name. And, along with his friends such as Sunil Pal, Sunil Grover, you had Raju Srivastava. Household name became synonymous with comedy. And with all these reality shows that were just comedy reality shows that were taking place on television, he rose to great prominence as a judge as well. He participated in comedy nights with Kapil. He was there in Nach Baliye. He was